Welcome, everybody, to the latest episode of the T3 Alpha Show. I am proud to be joined by my good friend, James Rich Young. James has been a professional trader for 6 years now. He also has a massive YouTube presence with over 87,000 subscribers. So we're going to learn how he went from amateur to pro really, really quickly. Whether his middle name is actually Rich, I asked him before, I totally forgot, and a whole lot more. So James, how are you doing today?
Good. Glad to be here. First, I want to congratulate you, Michael, on the new podcast show. I'm very honored to be here. Actually, what number guest am I?
You are number 6.
Okay. So I made it to the top 10. So
yeah,
really honored.
You're wrong, James. You made it to the top 6.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Right. Top 6. There you go.
Okay. All right. So James, so where are you originally from?
Well, I'm born and raised in LA. My parents are Korean. They're born from Korea. They came to America, born and raised in LA, and yeah, just been here all my life, still in LA.
Interesting. I've been in New York my entire life, so I think we're both locked into our locations. Okay, so what were you doing before you got into trading?
So before I got into trading, I was in the apparel space. So what happened was my parents, they were in the apparel business for probably, well, now they're still in the business for 40 years. And growing up, that's kind of what I was exposed to. And eventually, since they had a lot of connections, they kind of said, hey, let me invest something into you. And my girlfriend at the time, Janet, and now my wife, and they kind of gave us a wholesale business that they invested into that we could run. So that's the side of the business that me and my wife built, grew, and I did that for about 7 years. I still consult in it. We still have that business that my wife runs completely now. I'm basically hands off, but yeah, that's what I was doing full time.
Okay, so what made you jump into the trading world?
I ended up trying to find a way out while I was basically building that business with my wife. So I was kind of looking at the real estate business or even some kind of drop shipping. And then eventually that all led to trading. And that's where I came across Sami and his webinar. And that's where I was first exposed to day trading and just kind of went all in from there.
Yeah, so this is a little bit of an odd piece of trivia, but James attended a webinar I was hosting with the great Sami Abusaad. So, and then it came full circle. James joined the mentorship. James became a professional trader. Then he was trading. He led the room with Sami within just a few months. But I want to kind of also dig into your personality. Have you always been like a highly independent person? Because if you're considering things like drop shipping, real estate, and then trading, that's very much, those are very much like me industries where everything is relying on you. So have you always been a very independent person?
Yeah. So growing up, I would say like I wasn't really into the whole school system, right? Hey, let's get good grades so that I could get into a good college, so that I could get a good job, so that I can be a good employee for until I retire. So I wasn't too interested in that game. I always I always wanted an answer to get out of that rat race, right? That most people unfortunately get stuck in. So for me, it was finding a way to kind of that financial freedom, that entrepreneurship. So I always had that growing up. So, but I was someone who was kind of a troublemaker growing up. So I didn't have all the best school systems to kind of rely on. So where I found my education was outside of the school system, which is why I was in that hunt, going into drop shipping, trying real estate investing, all of these seminars, webinars, and networking events that kind of led me eventually into trading.
Okay, so you got off to a fairly fast start in your trading. I mean, there are people that struggle forever to make it work. You succeeded fairly quickly. Why do you think that was?
I mean, I think first thing would be having the right mentor. And because I've had plenty of teachers, I've tried plenty of courses, but I think one of the reasons why I failed in them, it was because um, number one, the teachers I felt wasn't as involved enough, right? It was kind of like, here, go watch this, and then good luck to your new venture. But the one that I took with Sami, that one kind of was more hands-on. It was an in-person mentorship. And that really helped me kind of, because I think one of the hardest thing to do, or why people don't become successful, is because you don't know what to do, right? Once you're told exactly what to do, you kind of just have to put in the work. It's simple as that. So once I kind of knew and understood what the assignment was, and I just took it one step at a time and just kept pushing and pushing. And once I saw the results and progress, you just keep pushing forward.
Okay, we also know that, though, that a lot of people have trouble following a game plan or following instructions. Like, they'll take a course in anything or a mentorship, but they'll start breaking rules day one. They'll start improvising. Like, what made you actually follow the path?
Well, for me, it was kind of easy because I never day traded before the mentorship that I took. And so it was easy for me to, or I guess easier to follow directions, because I know a lot of the other traders that were around me at the time, they've been trying at this multiple times, right? They've tried all kinds of strategies. They've developed their own beliefs. So I think with that, those bad habits, they kind of still had an attachment to them. So they couldn't fully give it their all to whatever this new information was given. So for me, I was really like a blank canvas. Just anything that I was hearing was new information to me. So that's all. It was easier for me to just do it, right?
Okay, so did you take any big losses when you started? Because that's been a common theme among a lot of the successful traders I've spoken with, was that they had a $50,000, $100,000 loss somewhere near the beginning, like they had to touch the hot stove and learn the hard way. Did you experience anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all go through that, right? And so going back to what I said, like, yes, it was easy for me to follow directions, but but that doesn't mean I wasn't making any mistakes. So I still kind of went off. Yes, I did lose a big amount. I think my biggest loss was $10,000. So it's not as crazy as some of the other people losses that they take. But yeah, so for me, it was more about, I think it was important to make all of those mistakes, because it's going to happen, right? It's going to happen. It builds your trading as a professional, as long as you can make adjustments from it. So yes, I've made I've made all the mistakes in the book, but I think what was important that made me successful is that I was able to learn from it and adjust from it. And I think most people, what happens is they get stuck in it and it becomes a habit. And now you're kind of going in this bad circle.
Okay, so I want to talk about some of those adjustments. So how does James Rich Young in 2019 differ from James Rich Young in 2025?
I would say, well, okay, so let's look at it like this. So let's say I'm a chef, right? So if I'm a chef, if I'm following a recipe, that's going to create a delicious dish, or I may have to follow a recipe in the beginning because I'm not aware of how to use these ingredients. But as I get more familiar and I become more experienced in what I do, I know how to control the heat. I know what everything tastes like. I know what combinations work. Then I can kind of go off the books and kind of cook something up with the ingredients that are out there. So I think that's kind of the difference. Like in the beginning, 2019, I had to completely just follow a trading plan that I wrote out, like to the T, even like the management. And now it's more like, okay, now that I understand how to read price action better, now that I understand how the market works, and I can read multiple time frames and look at the strategies all of these strategies that I use, and see what's working. I'm adaptable to the market. So now I'm kind of being more, I wouldn't say breaking the rules, but like bending the rules where I can kind of, or I'm allowed to do that, right? Like any professional chef or high-end chef that's at the top of their game, they may do things that no one else has done that may work out or whatever or whatnot. So I think that's the difference between that, or 2019 James Rich Young and today.
Yeah, I kind of think of it almost as like a grandma mode, like everybody's grandmother. If you use a measuring cup or something in front of them,
yeah,
they smack you because like they just know, shake a little whatever, and they just get it. So for things like technical analysis and reading the market, are those things more or less automatic for you now? Like when you look at a chart, do you just get it?
I mean, yeah. I mean, the process is much faster, right? So it's like reading a book, I would say. Like I can look at, or a picture, I can look at the chart and immediately kind of see or get a feel about it. If there's nothing to do with it, if it's bullish, if it's bearish, like anything like that, it just comes up much faster. It processes in my brain much quicker. Whereas before I would have to kind of study it and take my time with it, look at other time frames. And yeah, so I would say it's just processes just much faster. So even like my scanning, like in the beginning, it would take maybe an hour to scan through all my stock universe, but now it may take like 10 minutes. So it's just becoming much faster, right?
Okay, I'm glad you brought up the word book, because I saw one of your recent YouTube videos. You talked about trading in the zone. And this book I personally find fascinating because I read it a couple years ago. Because I'm in the industry, I produce content, I need to know what people like. And everybody likes that book. I found it kind of useless because I felt like it was telling you the way things should be and how you should feel, but not quite how to get there. So tell me, what am I missing about trading in the zone? Because everybody loves it. I'm the only one that doesn't.
I think so. I don't know if I talked about this in the video, but Trading in the Zone, yes, it's my favorite book. But the first time I read it, and that was like the first year of my trading career, I said exactly what you said. I didn't get it. Like, I don't know why this book was good. Like, I couldn't apply it or understand it. But as I started to read it every single year after that, and I started to continue and progress in my trading experience and career, it just became more eye-opening. Like everything that Mark Douglas was talking about. So like I said, like all the mistakes I was making, like I started to understand what he was saying. And it's not that like you can apply something, but it's just understanding or enlightening of why I may be getting FOMO, or why I may be chasing trades or taking losses or taking early profits. So it's just getting a better understanding, getting a better perspective of it, so that I can see myself from like a third person, and then really kind of just have a shift in mindset of how I'm taking these risks.
Yeah. Now, I'm glad you said that, because I can look to my own interests, and there are books that I've read in the last 30 years that I've read 10 or 20 times.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. Okay, so all right, now I want to talk about James Rich Young, the YouTuber. Now, again, I asked this before, so I feel like an idiot asking again. Is Rich actually your middle name?
No, it's not. So Rich is my son's middle name. So Tyson, it's his middle name, and I just kind of stole it from him. I guess the internet persona, right? So no, it's not my real middle name.
Okay, so what made you put yourself out there on YouTube sharing your journey? And again, James he's up to over 87,000 subscribers. Absolutely check out his channel. So what made you take that leap?
So for me, I guess because there's a saying, right? There's 3 hobbies everyone should need. One that makes you money, one that keeps you creative, and one that keeps you in shape. And for me, the money became day trading. in shape, I started powerlifting, and then creativity, I guess, is what YouTube is for me, and just it helps me keep my mind sharp because I think the best way to learn something is to teach it. And what I saw in the YouTube space at the time was not a lot of transparency. And when I found, or when I became a profitable trader, I found, hey, what if I kind of brought that to the game, right? Brought that to the space. So one thing I did was I was super transparent. I was pretty much an open book with all of my losses, winnings, and all of that. And then from there, it just kind of grew. And I feel like, especially in today's age, we're in the digital world. I feel like everybody should have some sort of social media presence, because if you don't, you're going to be left behind. So I don't know why I wanted to do it, but I felt like I needed to, because in the future, like having a following is going to be an asset in some way.
Okay, what did you find the most challenging about YouTube when you got started?
I mean, turning on that camera and just talking directly into it. I'm more of an introvert, and I used to hate public speaking, and so for me it was about doing the uncomfortable until it got comfortable. So I think just talking to a camera, the editing, of course, like I wasn't a video editor, so learning all of that, and then just trying to improve one thing at a time, each video. And I just tried to make it grow organically.
Okay, were you inspired by any YouTubers outside of the trading space? I mean, like were you watching, off the top of my head, I'm just thinking like Mr. Beast or Casey Neistat. Like, did anybody on YouTube inspire you?
I mean, growing up, there was a lot of YouTube. I followed a lot of YouTube channels, mostly gaming channels, I would say. I mean, back in the day, it was like Machinima Respawn. What was it, like Philip DeFranco? Like it was like it was like the old school guys, right? But it was mostly gaming, I would say. Gaming channels. I never really followed anything else, I would say. But no real inspiration. But once I got into trading, I know there were a lot of other YouTubers out there that did put out content. And that's when I was just like, okay, and maybe something I didn't see was the transparency. So that's what I tried to bring.
Okay, so I want to go back to, so your beginning when you were in the apparel business, you said it was a ton of hours. Sounds like you didn't have a whole lot of fun. But now, are you working like even more hours now? Because if you're running a trading room, you're doing a mentorship, you're doing YouTube, you're powerlifting, you have a family, is work-life balance, is it any easier these days?
Yeah, so you're right. So I am working more, but I'm working where I'm basically investing into myself. And what I mean by that is, like, when you do something that you like and you're seeing returns on, or a better return on than anything else, you just want to keep doing that. So for me, like trading and YouTube, and I'm still learning, right? I'm always going to be a student, never staying complacent. So I'm still learning, growing, and I think what it is, you're finding that one thing in life that you really want to become a master at, and then you just go all in from there. And I think that's what I'm doing with the trading. Because with like other things, like let's say you have a job, right? You have a job 9 to 5, you don't care, and you're just there to punch in, punch out, do the work that's needed. You're basically, what I like to say is, whose dream did you build today, right? When you're doing that, you're building someone else's dream, and then you come home, you just want to kick up your feet, watch TV, watch your favorite show. And I think that's wrong. Like, I think you should put in more effort into building your own dream rather than somebody else's. So when you're clocking out that 9 to 5, you should be coming home and putting extra energy into kind of changing your life if you're not at a place where you want to be. So for me, I'm at a place where I want to do well for my family, provide. I want to experience things in life, in this one life that I have, in the most comfortable way. So setting up my future for me and my family, I think is important. So, which is why I'm always pushing this and just going all in and doing as much as I can now, and seeing where it goes. Right, it's not guaranteed. I don't know how this is going to play out, but I'm shooting my shot. Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Work-life balance actually sounds like bullshit to me. It sounds more like you don't have anything interesting going on, because like I know that in my own life, the times I've been happiest is when I've been ridiculously busy doing things I like, and some stuff is just falling by the wayside because there's so much good stuff going on. I mean, like, do you think work-life balance even makes sense?
Well, so what I like about this profession is I'm home. This is my home office. My gym is right outside here, right out the door. So, living in LA, you drive to the market, you go put in gas, it takes 45 minutes to get anywhere. So that saves a lot of time. And work-life balance, I mean, what I do is just travel, right? I travel with my family. That's where what I like to do. So I like to put in the work. I'm always home. I go pick up my son Tyson, bring him home. We hang out, and I could still be in my office. He's right next door, but yeah, I feel like the work-life balance is just an excuse to not work. And I think that a lot of that has to do with doing something you're not in love with, right?
Oh, okay. So let's talk about love. So when you started trading, did it just feel right?
Yeah, I mean, right away, it just felt like, hey, this is something I want to do. It really, because I think, to me, what I always say about trading is, or what I tell people when they say, "What do you do?" I say, "I play the greatest video game in the world," and that's what it is to me. When I growing up, I loved video games, right? I grew up on the N64, loved me some GoldenEye, and from there, it just kept going. So now today, like, it's the stock market that I chose, that I'm playing every single day. So I love it. It's something I fell in love with right away. Love at first sight.
Okay, all right. Well, so let's talk about gaming. So you were playing GoldenEye, so I'm going to assume you liked FPSs and action games.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think there's an advantage to just that basic hand-eye coordination? Like, do you think that gave you a leg up?
Yeah, we talk about this in the room, and there's a lot of gamers or there's some gamers in our room, and we agreed, all kind of shaking our heads, saying, yeah, it helps, because I mean, when you're using hotkeys, especially when you're trading the more volatile stocks, you got to be quick on your hands, right? You can't just be sitting there, hey, I'm going to punch in this number and click sell or click buy, confirm, and do all of this. No, by that time, the trade is gone or you missed your exit. So being reactive is definitely a plus. There's no downside to it.
Okay, so related to that, a big thing people are talking about these days, obviously, is AI. Now, we surveyed the T3 audience, and only 31% of them are using AI in their trading, and it's usually for basic things like finding earnings dates and dividend dates, like very, very routine, like data automation. Are you using AI at all in your trading?
I talked to Sami about this, and I said, what if because one of the things I focus on is trading gaps. And what me and Sami and a couple of the other room members do is we put together a gaps list every single morning, and it takes a bit of time. So I kind of said, why are we wasting time on this when we can maybe have AI do it? So I think what I'm going to try to do, I've never used AI for trading. So I think what I would do, or how I would start, is maybe putting together a gaps list for me. So that's kind of would be step one for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I find that interesting because like that's something a lot of software already
Yeah.
does. But it is kind of fun to like drop charts into ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever and say, hey, what do you think of this? You know,
Yeah.
okay, all right. So where do you want to go in your trading? And or actually, better question: do you have a long term vision? Like, do you see yourself somewhere in 10 years, or are you just gonna ride it out and see what happens?
I mean, I know we just all talked about how many hours I put into the game. And I think the end goal is not to keep putting the same amount of hours, right? So I want to eventually start to shorten that by building. I know there's something called passive income that kind of gets a misconception sometimes, but I think doing less hours of day trading, like sitting in front of a PC all day, I'm here open. I've been trading for the past 6 years, every single day, open to close, like no breaks. I mean, we've minus like December, right? Christmas breaks. And my end goal isn't to do that, then just be glued to a screen all day. So for me, is to kind of backtrack from there, maybe focus more on swings, more longer term positions, so more investing, things of that nature. Yeah, instead of just in the next 10 years, I would say I don't see myself day trading full time in the next 10 years.
Yeah. So the thing I was wondering was, do you find it actually physically taxing? Because so I'm not a professional trader, but if I'm sitting down all day, I feel horrible at the end of the day. Like my body is aching from doing nothing. So do you find it actually I mean, you're younger
Do
than
you
me.
have a sit-stand desk?
I am thinking about it
Oh,
because
there you go. So
so
right now I'm actually standing.
what?
So
Nobody
yeah.
told me this.
So I'm standing right now. So I have a sit-stand desk, and every hour, 30 minutes, if I'm feeling like, my back is feeling it, I'll put on the standing desk. And then I also have a walking treadmill that I could throw under the desk if I want to get some steps in. Yeah. So I mean, I think health should come first, because that should be a priority. Once your health kind of goes away, then you can't really do anything else, right? You can't take care of family. You can't do the job that that needs to be done. So I think we always got to put our health first as our priority.
Okay, so I know you're a power lifter. What does that do for you?
So, like I said, like finding a hobby to keep you in shape is one thing, right? So for me, I think powerlifting is awesome because not only do you get to lift heavy shit, but it's a way to keep track of progress too. So, I'm a numbers guy, right? I'm a stock person. So with the numbers of weight and how it works, how you progress using RPEs and percentages of your 1 rep max, sets and reps, and now you can kind of track your progress to see how you're performing. And it's very incremental. Like in the beginning, it may see a big jump in your numbers, but those inches that you gain become very, very satisfying. Well, at least for me.
Okay, so are you a goal setter? Like, are you thinking, I want to deadlift this amount by this date or bench press or whatever? Like, are you setting specific goals for yourself?
So I'm not like that of a serious power lifter. So I mean, I have competed in a couple of competitions, but I wouldn't say competed, more like participate, because there's a way much stronger guys than me in my weight class, but it's not really for me like setting goals and trying to beat other power lifters or break world records. I'm not like that guy. I'm just trying to beat myself every day on that platform. So as long as I'm continuing to progress. Even if I can gain a pound on my squat or a bench, like that is the goal, right? But I mean, I would love to squat 500, deadlift 7, and bench 400 if before I die.
All right, I
That
will.
would be.
We will check on you in 6 months to ensure you're making progress. Okay,
Oh,
so
I don't know about maybe 6 years.
okay, all right. So related to that, so a while ago we surveyed our community and we asked them what your number one. We asked what is your number one trading goal. Across the board, most popular answer, and these were manual answers people had to type in. This wasn't multiple choice. Most people spontaneously wrote in, I want to make $10,000 a month, which I viewed as that's enough for me to make enough to give my boss the middle finger and do whatever I want. So do you think it makes sense to have dollar-based goals or even percentage-based goals in trading?
I think I think it's nice to have goals because now you have a set target that you can work on. And it's just because I think what the issue is here is I think what the issue is was if you're expecting it, right? And the thing with the market is 1 month or 1 day, every day is different. You don't know how it's going to, what kind of opportunities it's going to give, what kind of follow through you're going to get. So 1 month may be a really shit month and not give you that 10,000, but the following month may give you 20,000 that can make up for it. So I think when you're expecting things from the market, that can be dangerous because now you're kind of trying to force things to work. And that's one of my mistakes that I've made in the past is trying to force things. And that's where I get punished because the market's going to do what it wants to do and it's not in my hands. And I just have to I'm in the mercy of the market.
Okay. Mercy of the market. That doesn't sound like a fun place to be. Okay, so we are going to close out in a couple of minutes. I'm going to ask James some rapid fire questions, but if you're enjoying this conversation, please follow, comment, like, subscribe, whether you're on Spotify or YouTube. You can also leave a comment below. Yes, even if you are on Spotify, you can leave a comment below. So please engage. We're trying to build this up, so we would appreciate all of your comments and likes and all that good stuff. Okay, so James, we're going to close out with a few rapid fire questions. Okay, what is your favorite trading movie?
Oh, trading movie. I actually made a video about this. I think my top 3 I had was The Big Short, Trading Places, and Wolf of Wall Street. But if I had to pick one, modern day, is Wolf of Wall Street a boring answer? It's like, I feel like that's everybody's, right?
No, the answers have been all over the place. It's the most popular one is actually Trading Places. It might just be,
Trading Places.
Yeah, Trading Places.
That's a classic.
If anybody watching, if you haven't seen Trading Places yet, you're doing something wrong. Go watch it. Okay, James, what is your favorite chess opening?
Pawn. I don't know what the actual opening is called.
No, but pawn? Is it like pawn e4 or something?
Yeah, like pawn. Whatever the pawn is in front of the queen, the two blocks up. Oh, whatever that opening is.
I'm getting the feeling me and James should play chess because I think we're at similar skill levels.
Let's do it. Yeah,
I'm pretty bad, but we might be a good match in terms of chess. Okay, what is the best book you ever read? Any kind of book.
One book. Okay, so one book that got me into like this finance or this entrepreneurship journey. I mean, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and what is it? Quantity. I forget. It's another Rich Dad book. It's by Robert Kiyosaki. I forget the book.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's another. All right. We can
Rich Dad, Poor Dad, yeah.
Yeah, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Okay, what is your favorite breakfast food?
Ooh, breakfast food. I mean, I got to go with the breakfast burrito, I guess.
Very solid answer. And you're in California, so
so we got some good ones here.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I live in Brooklyn, New York, in a neighborhood called Sunset Park, which has a million Mexican restaurants. Breakfast burritos don't exist here. It drives me crazy.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, all right.
It's got to have a good hot sauce though.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. What is one stock you would want to own for the next 20 years?
One stock would I own for the next 20 years? I mean, I would say ooh, I don't know why Coca-Cola is coming into my mind because of Warren Buffett, because it pays dividends. I can sell puts on it and calls on it. But yeah, I feel like Coca-Cola is going to be around forever. I mean, it's been around forever already.
Okay.
So-
Okay. So James, so I know you work out hard. Have you ever drank Coke after a workout?
Okay, so for me, I drink Coke Zero now. So I know I used to drink the Diet Coke, so I don't like drinking my calories. So I'm always going with the diet. I'm always going with the Coke Zero or sugar free. But Coke Zero it would be the one.
Yeah, I love Coke Zero, but James, I urge you just one time have a can of regular Coke after a workout.
No.
It is it's
I don't remember. I actually don't remember the last time I had a regular can of soda.
yeah, I very rarely drink regular soda, but so like I'm a distance runner, nothing tastes better after a long run than a Coke.
Oh yeah. It might be the sugar, right? That you need.
Yeah, because
From
like
all
I have like liquid IV and that stuff.
Yeah.
Coke is so much better.
Oh, okay.
Okay, guys. All right. So if you want to learn about James's mentorship, the link is down in the description below. James, thank you for joining me. This was a ton of fun.
Hey, thank you for having me, Michael.
Thanks, James.